Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk about the Scorpio Rising and just to give you a little bit of idea what it's all about. And I'm a Scorpio Rising myself. I'm a second decan Scorpio Rising, which has a Neptune Pisces influence, which makes things a little bit easier for me. But still, I feel a lot of things that any other Scorpio Rising feels. So there's three decans. There's the first decan, that's between 0 degrees and 10 degrees. The second decan is between 20, 10, and 20 degrees. And the third decan is between 20 and 30 degrees. So they've all got their own nuances, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of idea about the Scorpio rising in general. So for me, it's hard to put things in words. I can, but there's so many things that I want to talk about, and it can take me a long, long time to express what I'm feeling. Not because I have a hard time explaining it, it's because there's just so many things I think about every day, and if I wanted or if I wished, I would want to explain everything because as a Scorpio rising, I look for meaning in life. I look for the underlying truths and realities. And as a Scorpio rising, I come off as more conservative in the public. I'm more quiet, more reserved, more conservative in front of the public, and some people might view me as cold or scary or intimidating or something. And I'm not really like that, but I come off as that because I don't speak that much in public. You know, I'm not I'm not outspoken like that. Scorpio risings do not uh, do not or not as outgoing or do not show themselves as that. So I'm constantly analyzing, thinking things. For Scorpio rising, the world is not an easy place. It's a difficult place. We've had experiences in our childhood. Even if we come from the best families, like I did, I never really had anything that I had to deal with in terms of financial troubles with my family or any debts or any other kinds of things. But but I did have some really deep experiences as a child, and I think whether you come from a good family, bad family, whatever kind of background, you're going to experience that if you're a Scorpio rising. And it's important to understand that people might be surprised that why are you thinking like this? Why are you like so intense and so deep? And I guess it's only something a Scorpio rising can understand. And it's important to get that clear and get an understanding of that in your own mind, um, because it can be confusing. Um, no one else is going to be able to understand the intensity of your feelings and your emotions. So it's important that you understand it, or you talk to someone that has a Scorpio rising or something. Maybe get a mentor to understand what's going on, because there is something. And if I had to talk about myself, I can talk about a lot of things that had to deal with some kind of neglect or some kind of people not being able to see me or understand me as a child. I was a quiet child. I wasn't like other children. I used to think about death a lot, and not in a suicidal or any kind of way, just more in an inquisitive way. And the reason why we're so quiet and reserved in public is because we know that we're different from everyone else, and there's no one like us. Most people are outspoken, they say whatever is on their mind, and they express it freely. And we don't. We're more conservative and we're more reserved. We're more strategic in how we think about things. So for us, the world is a hard place. It's not easy for us to trust other people because the moment I mean, the moment you try expressing the intensity of your feelings, people, from my experiences, people do not take that positively. They almost always have a negative reaction to it. They don't understand. They can't comprehend. It puts people off. So, so you can't explain it to them. You can't explain it to them that it's not wrong for you to feel like that. That it doesn't make you. That it's not. It doesn't make you abnormal or something. It's something that's completely normal, but it is uniquely dealing with Scorpio risings or some heavily influenced Scorpio chart. So it's it's hard to explain to other people, but it's hard to open up to people because it's not because of the lack of trying. You can try, but at a certain point you realize that the more you try to talk to people and try to explain it to them, they don't get it, and then there's a point where you tell yourself that it's not worth it, and then you stop, and you probably just confide in one person, the person you're in a relationship with, and um, and it's interesting because different planets in your chart represent different energies and different aspects of your life. So I'm not going to talk about um, relationships when it comes to Scorpio risings because relationships deal with more of your Venus aspect and placement. And for me, I have a Venus in Scorpio, which I can explain, but I can make another video on that. The ascendant is mainly dealing with how you how you present yourself, how you come off to the everyday world. So that's what this video is about. Scorpio rising is very deliberate, um, can be is very strategic, deliberate, and they can use words in a powerful way. And I can use words in a powerful way, even if I'm not eloquent or if I'm not as fluent in what I'm saying. But when I use words, normally each and every word I use has some kind of meaning to it. It's got a specific purpose or some background to it. It's got a specific purpose. So I don't use words lightly. I don't expect people to use words lightly. When I'm expressing something, when I'm telling someone something, um, even simple words have a lot of effect. I have a presence that comes off when I'm in public. People know that, I've got this air around me, about me, that people know that, this person's different. I mean, this person is not like every other person. So that's just what I think. I come off as a Scorpio rising to the world. And so, yeah, sometimes people have told me that I kind of look scary. And, when I'm really focused on something, when I'm not smiling, I have a Libra, I have a Libra sun. So when I'm talking to people or when I'm thinking consciously, then I smile with my Libra smile so that I don't come off as intimidating or scary or anything. But um, but when I'm not thinking consciously, when I'm just doing my own thing at work or anywhere else, not conscious about, um, you know, I'm just in my own air and just by myself, then I'm not smiling and I can come off as really, really intense and scary with my looks, really focused. And people have told me I look like a killer or a murderer or something. And, it's just like that. I don't mean to come off like that. I don't even realize how strongly I come off as sometimes. So, mm, so yeah, I mean, it's, uh, it's, it's, it's different. So it's not easy for a Scorpio person to come out and talk about themselves because they're conservative, and I'm conservative as well. Um, I'd like to though, but not in a way where where I'm coming off as like just bragging or boasting or talking about myself. Not like that. From a place of understanding, from a place of gaining trust, and just trying to explain basically. So yeah, depending on your decans, if it's the first decan, that's going to be the Scorpio Scorpio combination. It's the most intense combination. Uh, it's the strongest combination. Um, you come off as really, really intense, and you're really, really, really secretive, and to the point of paranoia sometimes. But this placement has got the most reserves for resilience, and that's what you call the Scorpio rising. They're resilient, and most people have no idea about the levels of resilience that you have. You're the most resilient person. There's a battle going on in your mind every day. The world is a difficult place. It's a battle zone. It's a war zone, and you're living through it every day by yourself. Um, we're not dependent on other people. So that was the first decan. Second decan is the Scorpio Pisces combination, the influence of Neptune, and that's me, and that basically gives me softer features because because of the Neptune. It gives me softer features, makes me more flexible, gives me more of it's like it has the Pisces influence. So you can be a martyr, or you can get addicted to things as well, but you're also very artistic and that kind of stuff, which is not present as much in the Scorpio Scorpio first decan combination. So I mean, you get these different nuances in the different decans. And the third one is the Scorpio Cancer combination, and basically you got those same features as well that I just explained, but you're very caring about your close ones. That's because of the Cancer influence, and you're very close about um, the feeling of home and being at home and letting other people visit you. You're very conscious of that. You don't just let anyone in just like that. So that's a little bit about the three decans. Sometimes it's a very difficult place because this placement, Scorpio rising, because you feel like you're all alone, and you kind of are actually, because in all your difficult times, you never had anyone that really stood by you or really understood you or helped you get out of that situation. You were all by yourself, and it's made you tough, it's made you hard, it's made you resilient, it's made you really strong and a little bit cold. It's not easy for you to open up and be vulnerable in front of the world. So it's life experiences have taught you a lot. You've got a lot of wisdom, and nothing overwhelms you. Um, you come off as this calm person in public. You don't express your emotions publicly in front of others. You're very consistent in front of the world, in the eyes of the world. You're very, very consistent. But inside you is a whole different situation. There's a battle going on, and it depends how you come off in that battle. If you survive, if you survive, you you become exalted. You go to the higher levels, and if you fail, then you die, and not literally you die, but you you become shattered. You feel your life can get destroyed, and you might go reach the lowest levels of lowest levels of life. So yeah, um, you can it can be self-destructive, and it's difficult, but but there's this aspect of transformation as well in a Scorpio rising. you you like you learn from experiences in life. You eventually you overcome all that's all that you've suffered. You evolve, you transform. That's a huge part of Scorpio rising. You overcome it as long as yeah, as long as you don't do anything lasting. You overcome any difficult situation and you learn from it. You transform literally. You it's if you have some negative influences in your life, there's only a certain point till which you can take it, and it's a fixed sign. Scorpio is a fixed sign. It's a water sign, so the fixed nature makes it more persistent and and uh, persevering. And the the element that Scorpio has is the water. So yeah, it is related to sensitivity, emotion. Um, so if your heart is in something, then even if it's bad for you, you're gonna stick to it till the very end, until it's about to kill you or it's about to destroy you. And then you tell yourself that this is not how it's gonna be. And then you cut that thing off from your life. You transform and you become a completely different person. So Scorpio rising goes through many transformations in their lives constantly, and it's interesting. So they don't really have a lot of people in their life per se, um, because most people they fail on some levels. So the people that remain with the Scorpio rising at the end are people that have proven themselves to be there for the Scorpio rising. Um, Scorpio risings are very forgiving. They forgive a lot. They forgive their partners for making mistakes. But if it's something about integrity or character flaw or manipulation or something like that, then they don't tolerate it. They just they're ruthless in that situation. Just cut the person off and not even feel any guilt or anything about it. They can't stand any kind of cheating, any kind of manipulation because they give you their all. They give you their all once they've brought the walls down. So even though I said that I'm not going to talk about relationships, but to get to a relationship, I think you have to look at the entire birth chart in a linear, in a sequential way. So the first thing that is on everyone's birth chart says they're ascendant, and to reach that point of relationship, the planet of Venus, you have to first go through all the other stages. So the other stages are, the ascendant, first of all. So you have to bring your walls down. And for a Scorpio rising, that's the biggest thing, to be vulnerable. They don't do that for anyone, just for anyone. So once they do that, even if your sign is, if your Venus is in any other zodiac sign, I mean, they have to go through that ascendant first, the Scorpio ascendant. And that's the biggest thing for Scorpio ascendant, bringing their walls down. And if you hurt or disappoint them, then then they're then they just think in their heads that they've given everything for you, and they don't feel any guilt in letting go. So yeah, so I mean, it can make Scorpio rising very lonely, very alone sometimes, but also very powerful and intriguing and mysterious and everything. So if you have any comments or any feedback you'd like to give me, I'd love to hear it. Thank you. Bye.